Jimmy, you joined us at a good time. So I was talking with Michael and we were talking about sales automation. I mean,
Okay.
we just have this wicked system that's been built with all these kinds of bells and whistles. So I wanted to kind of give the advanced class on it. And then, we could share it with the world. Everybody can kind of see what it looks like behind the curtain on how to get some real traction in your business and employ some of the tools that we utilize. So if you guys want to hang on, I'm going to just kind of jump right into it. I'm going to share the screen. Okay, so with this, so it all started with, I gave Michael a list, okay? So Michael has this commercial property managers list. And so the first thing is, one, we have access to a ton of information. So it doesn't matter what your industry you're in, what you're hunting down. We have the information and the access. So in here, this is a CSV file, so it kind of like formats weird every time you close it. One of the things that I do is this thing here, which is this main category. It's over like on the far side, like it's over in one of these deeper columns. So basically I just sort out and I get rid of kind of the excess, but then I grab this one and I put it here. And then I just go and I just apply a simple filter to it. So I'm going to say, let's go here and I'm going to go filter. So now it gives me the option to do some stuff here. So first thing I do is I sort them out. Okay. So I sort them by their main category. And I basically want to get rid of anything that doesn't really apply to who we're marketing to. In this particular case, we are marketing to property managers, right? We want to talk to property managers and offer services on their properties. So here I'm just going to go. I'm just really just scrolling down, right? Property estate agents. You look at some of them, Colliers, JLL. Those are all good prospects. These are properties. They're probably smaller. Some of them might be property management companies, but they're good too. Some of them might be, the problem with the data, okay, is the data is only as good as you are able to sort it out or do something with it. So in this case, I don't know what the route service center is, but it doesn't hurt me to send them off a message. But basically, I'm just looking for anything that's like just completely wacky, right? You'll see it'll pull in like bankers and, weird stuff. Some people, concierge cleaning service. You never know. It might be, maybe they outsource their work. Oh, we got Jimmy coming back in here. So anyway, so that's the first step that I do. Then the next step, and this one I've already done it, but I filter by email address. Okay. So I go up here and I hit this filter for email and it sorts out and basically it puts all the people to the top that have emails. The thing I do is I save the list as with email, and then I go back in and I basically delete all the people that have emails, and then I save it as without email. And the reason that you do that is because one, lists and contacts are valuable. Just because I don't have their email doesn't mean that I don't want to do something with them. So in this particular case, this is another version of the list. Okay. So the other one's commercial property managers. This is just property management. And this one I've already cleaned out the emails. You look, everybody here has got an email address. My mouse hates me, Jimmy. Especially when I'm on Zoom. I'm telling you, I don't know if it's the mouse or the computer. It drives me nuts, this thing. Anyway, I'm just going down. I just want to make sure, right, everybody's got an email address. And I've already cleaned them out. Okay, so we have a lot of good contacts there, right? But I've also saved this list with all the people that have no email, okay? So the reason we do this is because there's still good contacts on here, Avison Young, you know, the thing we could do very easily, very inexpensively, I got a Cushman Wakefield in here. You know, the thing I can do is, you know, if I have their mailing information, I can certainly just go and I can, you know, I can mail them a postcard, right? Postcards are cheap, cost me 50 cents to get in front of them. I have all their mailing addresses. You know, it's better than doing nothing with them. You know, if that one postcard gets me one client, you know, it pays for the entire mailing. So that's why we do that. But we'll go back to Michael's original list. And Michael Kerr, say hello. Michael Kerr is in charge of business development with us. And so there's the list with this is your list. So yeah, okay. So now that I have the list, I then will take this list and I will bring it into our system. And I'm going to show off the system a little bit first. So the in this particular system, which is awesome, we'll go all the way back. We'll go to like dashboard. So this right now we're in this is actually a sales system for Austin, Texas. Okay. And we have different ones for different cities. We keep them isolated just so we can keep the people that are working them focused. And this allows us to do it. But it's pretty cool because once we start putting in contacts and we put in people into this, and one of the systems that we built on the front end, which works really, really cool, is our folks have the ability. So what is it? Austin Pronto Wash.com/add contacts. Is that right, Michael?
Yes.
Okay. So we go and we say add contacts. So now Michael just got out of a meeting. He ran into some people at lunch and, you know, he talked about our service and they're like, well, hell, you know, send me some information. So Michael goes to his phone. He starts, you know, we have these set up because they're like, you know, very specific messaging and everything. So Michael goes out here and I'll kind of show everybody the full circle of this. Michael's going to go and he's going to say, you know, what kind of contact he had with the person. Okay. So in this case, you know, he went to the building, but he hasn't talked to anybody. That's like a different message. It's like, hey, I stopped by, but missed you. He briefly talked to them. So he's going to get a message like, you know, hey, enjoyed our conversation. Talk to him extensively, right? That pushes him to a much different phase in our program. We send him right to our resource portal that has all the information about our company. And then, you know, we are already performing services at this location. So, you know, he's got different ways that he can add people in, but if he does it, they're going to trigger off and it's going to do some different activities. So this one, I'm going to put him in as, you know, no contact, cold lead. Okay. Property manager's name. I'm going to put Johnny Ballgame. Delete. So I know to take it out of my system. And in this case, I'm going to use Jonathan +1 at My Success Systems with lots of S's. Okay, phone number, I'll go. Office phone. Okay, building name. Cool ass building. 1, 2, 3, anywhere. Austin, Texas. So if you have a business card, right? It's a good way to just get this information in. And website, I don't know it. Notes. Dude was awesome. And the reason I'm doing this, right? And now you can even upload photos. So say you're there and say you took pictures of, you know, the building, the sign out front, some of the tenant information in the building. You can put it all in there and it all ends up associated with the contact. So when you're out hunting on the streets and doing actually like boots on the ground type work, this is amazing, right? Now, like, you don't have to go back and like sort all this information later. It's like, just do it. You saw how long it took me to fill it out. Just do it, right? So now I'm going to add the contact. Okay. So the, so now I go back. So I'm back in the system and I'm going to go look at contacts. And I'm going to get to the main list. And here I am, okay? So Johnny Ballgame, delete. Everything I just put in there is here, okay? It tried to send me an email. It didn't work. We'll see if we can roll it again. Okay, it pushed through. And I can see here that, I put him in through add a contact. And in the notes section, there's like additional information. They have all this different stuff that we can collect on folks as we're talking to them. But, here's the notes that I put in. Dude was awesome. And if you look, like, there's all these different pieces, but down here, it tells me that by filling out that form, it put him into the Kerr Pronto Wash, Pronto Clean cold sales workflow. So that person's already been sent an email. In my case, I put in a goofy email and it bounced. But that person would be put right into the sequence and they would receive an email that looks just like this. It actually looks a little bit differently when you receive it, but it has bullets. It doesn't show us bullets in this. It kind of strips it out. And this is just us being able to see every point of conversation. So if, we were to text this person, if I'm going to send him a message, right, I can just go in here. I can ping out, send a message. I can send an email. All right from the system now that, we have that person's contact information here and I can see everything that happens with that person. So that's all like, kind of the basics of the system. Now, if the person goes through and they like, click a link, right? So in this one, they're going to Pronto Wash, right? That link is what's called a trigger link. And we know that they went to this page. So if he actually did that, we would know that he did it. And from that, like Michael, did you just get a notification that somebody clicked something?
I did actually, yes.
Yeah, so Michael just got a text on his phone that said, Johnny Ballgame,
click the trigger. Yeah.
Is that what it says?
Yes, sir. It says, hey, click the trigger link in one of your RSL emails. Go check them out. It's got your email address and address as well.
See that? And here's the text that I just sent to myself, hey, dude. So the system is really all like, think about just the ability to move quickly. So now what happened, the fact that like I was first put in here, one of the biggest things about managing sales is using a sales pipeline. So in our system, we actually have a sales pipeline. So you can see here that, there's all different people that are in here on different stages, right? We have suspects, which are people we think that we could do business with. So anybody that Michael puts into the system is going to end up over here. Then if they click something, they end up moving and then they keep moving down the line. So here's me, right? So it created me in it put my company name in. So this is the one that I made. And since I clicked the trigger, it put me into a suspect category. So now this person is like, so if I'm Michael, and I'm kind of keeping up with all my people, I'm going to go here and, I see this person. I'm like, okay, okay, I got this guy. Okay. Oh, he's with Colliers, right? So I'm going to take this. I'm going to grab the back end of his thing and I'm going to go and I'm going to put in, which I know what Colliers is. It's a big company. It's like all of a sudden now, just by having a little bit of information, you end up with a lot more information. And it's like, oh, wow. Okay. Well, all the cookies. So, okay, well, properties. Let me look at properties. And this is really like doing research, finding things, and so they have all kinds of stuff. I'm just going to go location. If I'm Michael and I'm working Austin, I'm going to go Austin. And I'm just going to hit the search. And it's going to tell me all the buildings that Colliers has. Okay. So now, now I'm getting even deeper research in here, and I can see like, okay, I have a contact. This person is associated with all these different buildings. I can look on a map here and see all the different buildings. That stuff's pretty wild when you think about it. And, depending on, it could be by square footage. We go by pretty big square footage when we're looking for buildings, but this is obviously they're leasing, so you don't really get all that. But, hey, that's a beautiful building, right? I would go in, I would hit more details, and I would dig in and try to find, some additional contact information. These guys are leasing agents. Not bad people to call, though. The leasing agent always knows who the property manager is. And in some cases, you can actually get to like the actual website for a building. And that's usually where you can find some additional information, the property manager. But your goal is to kind of like, understand the people that are moving through your pipeline so you can figure out ways to connect with them. But, how cool is this? It looks, Shady Side looks awesome. They got a little food court thing. Wow, they should have some car washing going on in their parking lot. It's definitely a cool building. I might hit the contact button. And then, we got a couple more people here that we can reach out to. So see, here's the Colliers guys. And here's the, this guy's also part of the team, but they're part of Stream. And you'll see that a lot. You'll see CBRE teamed up with Stream or with Collier. Like they overlap on the leasing side and on the property management side all the time. So you never know. You go into one and next thing you know, you're dealing with a completely different company. But by going down that rabbit hole, you end up knowing and meeting more people, having conversations, and that's how you build the business. So, I got all that just by going here, looking at this. And then if I wasn't sure about the person, I could always go back to their contact. Everything's hot linked in here. So you'll see little things that kind of clue you into what's going on. I apologize for the slow internet. Maybe if I shut one of the 9,000 browsers that I have. But I wanted to show you something else too, talking about that. So, right, I can see this person, right? They're in there, but this person is in this campaign and workflow. So there's this really cool technology around this, right? So in here, I might, I might put in there, I might give them a Colliers tag, the things like that. I'm going to hit save just so that tag saves. But you can see everything from your dashboard, which I think is like every time you go into a contact, you can see everything with this person. So, Michael just added this guy today, right? He got that email. Now Michael's waiting for him. I'm going to show you the steps that Michael put that guy down by filling out that form. So here's this workflow, and there's actually this little tricky little stack of blocks over here. Anytime you see one of these little things or a little arrow, like if you go here, like he's in an opportunity. So if I go in the opportunity and I see this little launch pad type thing, that'll take me right to the opportunity. This will take me right to the workflow. And this is priceless. This is like the ability to be able to build sequential marketing and to automate it is the absolute lifeblood of a business. Now, think about, Michael's building a business in Austin, but we have, a dozen cities across the country. So, how does Michael do it and do it well? You can't do, if Michael had to look up every single contact and put everybody, onto an Excel spreadsheet and call them, oh my God, so in this case, for Michael, I have, hundreds of names that we can put in the system and he can launch. But here's the cool thing. So this is the actual path that he's putting them down. So he fills out the form immediately assigns the user, and then it creates the opportunity. And then it adds a contact tag, okay? And then ultimately it sends them that email that we saw, right? And he can, all this is customizable, but you can even go over here and look at statistics, right? He's got 94% delivered. He's got 23% opened. Oh, well, let's see who opened it. Okay, so Jared, Steve, Herbert, and Noah all opened the email. So you can even stay in here, right? And you might, if you ever have bounced, you want to look at those because you think you're sending them something and you haven't, right? But I can go over here to the click people. So we got a guy from Berkshire Hathaway and NAI Partners. They've clicked on stuff in an email already. And there's not much to click on in that first email. So the fact that they have, that's, means something. But I would go look this guy up and I'd go do my research and see if, I can connect with him. And there's a point that I'm just going to pick up the phone and call the guy. And the cool thing about it is you call from the system records it. So you have it for the future. Or if you have salespeople and they're doing this and you want to kind of hear how they're doing or what they're doing, you can actually go in and listen to the calls, both inbound and outbound out of the system. You also could take that whole list and you can load it in and it can actually act as like a call burner. So it can stack up all of your calls and it'll call when you hang up, it'll call the next one. When you hang up, it'll call the next one. So if you really just had a day where, all these people have clicked, all these people have made it to a certain point. Today, I'm just going to pound the phones. Think how much easier it is when you're not even dialing the phone and all you're doing is, it's going to kick you to the next contact. You're going to have all their information in front of you and you're going to deliver your pitch, your scripts. It should be scripted. But all of that you can do just by, clicking around. So this is like the place to be, right? If you wanted, you could export this and do something else with it if you needed. So just great tools. So now the thing actually waits. Okay. So Michael's got a bunch of people in here in this wait. So it's going to wait one day. And then tomorrow it's going to send them another email. Okay. And the email is different formatting, right? It's got a pretty picture in it. We push down here. We push so the unsubscribe button's really far out of their way so they don't get to it. Little tricks of the trade, but all this stuff is set up, right? And then they're going to wait. In this case, they're going to wait a day and they're going to get the next email. And then they get email 3. It's got the picture at the top now, similar information. And in this one, Michael's got his calendar link in here. So when Michael sends this out, if they want to book with him, they click his calendar link and bam, they get over to a calendar booking page. So, really cool stuff. So now we're on email 3. It's going to wait another day and it's going to actually drop a voicemail into their phone. So it's not like Michael's even calling them. They're going to get a voicemail and it's going to be, Michael leaving them a message saying, hey, give me a call back. And we record it. Okay. So it's a recorded message. I'll show you guys that. Let me see if I can get to it. Okay. Michael, here you go. You're on. So this is the message that gets left automatically. Michael doesn't have to pick up the phone. Michael could be out, doing something. He can be in a meeting with somebody else, and this thing happens automatically.
Hey, it's Michael with Frontal Wash. Just wanted to follow up with you. Give me a call back whenever you get a chance. 737-259-6444. Thanks and have a great day.
And that number that Michael gave is actually his number inside the system. So when they call back, it'll come in through the system. It'll forward to his cell phone, but it'll all be done through the system. And then we actually have an app that you can have on your phone so you can call in, out, and see all this stuff while you're moving around town. Okay, now it's going to wait. It's going to wait 5 minutes, not 5 days, 5 minutes. And it's going to send them an email that says, hey, I just left you a brief message today. So think about the power of this. How many times have you tried to follow up with somebody? You make 1 effort, 2 effort, and you lose them, right? You get busy, you get a hot lead and you run down that path. Imagine you're able to these things are just going after them until they buy or, come on, help me out, guys. Till they buy or die.
Wow.
Okay. Right. Then it waits 2 days. It sends them another email. Okay. And then finally it gets down to this point. It's like, okay, what the hell are we doing here? We need a decision to be made for this person. So it goes down here, and now the condition is if in this email, so in this one, he's actually giving them access to our sales portal. Okay. And I'll show you guys that briefly. But, we have a whole place where we send them to that actually gives them all the information from the sales process. We used to do it where we call and give them a presentation, or you stop by and leave them a brochure. But there's like a lot of information to give, and I'll show you guys that too, because it's pretty neat to understand how it all works. But basically, this email, he sends them the link to the portal. If they click the link, they end up over here. They end up moving in their opportunities. They end up, he gets an internal notification, all kinds of things happen. And like this internal notification, which is kind of cool, this is a text to him, but it literally could be a notification on his computer, like that little thing that pops up. It can be an email, it can be anything you want it to be. And it sends him all of this information from that person. So if they don't click it, they end up staying in the sequence, right? Then they get another email, like, what the hell are you doing? I sent you some stuff, then it waits. But like I was saying to Michael, like any point, you can see the people that are in the different stages. And like I said, everything's kind of got these little hot links that like, oh, I want to learn more about this guy. I just go and click on this and boom, I can get over there. So, it finally pushes them down. And then finally it like, it just tells Michael that it's time to call him. And that's after, about, a little over a week's worth of time that it's, we're kind of pinging on him. And boom, it puts him into that place for him to actually pick up the phone and call him. So he'll end up with a bunch of people stuck in here. And that's how he'll know, is he'll go in and see that step, and he'll be able to just click on it, and then he can dial through his people. So if that was the case, and I think I'm probably up here, is this me? So Johnny Ball Games here, I just click on here. It wants to click into my dial pad. But you'd actually be able to just go and do that. In this case, I'm stuck, right? Because my email didn't go through. In this case, you can actually go in here and you can say, oh, well, like let's just push him on to the next stage. Okay, so he doesn't even need to complete that. He'll get on to the next stage. But all of this stuff has just really cool functionality and features on what you can do with it, and what you can even add, and how you can trigger stuff. So once you understand the power of the software, then you can like start getting super creative. So if I had to add like a new step to this, there's two things. One is you can copy, Jimmy, you may not have even seen this yet, but you can actually copy this step. So if you wanted to like, have it do other things, I could copy this action, and then it tells you, then you just place it here. You can go in and edit it. It's got all the same stuff. And the reason I mention that is when you're building things and you want to notify like multiple people, we use this for scheduling. Okay. So if I wanted to notify, say, multiple people about something, I could actually go in and I can say, okay, I want this to send an SMS. In this case, it's going to the assigned user, but I could actually like pick a particular person for it to go to, and it could go to Michael, it could go to Kim, it could go to me. So it can go to anybody and they would actually get it. But so say I did that and I set it to go to a specific user. Well, but now I wanted to go to 2 users. I would just go in here, I would copy that, I would drop it again in the same spot, and I would go and change the user. So now both of those people are going to get a notification. In our world, we, when somebody comes in and they schedule an appointment, it messages people, it emails people, it does all that. That's how this does it. But it's a really cool automation tool that, is available. And as you do this, Michael, you'll learn that, you may want your own little like campaign, like you might want to just say something different, or, okay, I want to, I got these 10 people that, somebody else talked to and I haven't talked to them. So, in that case, you might, you might just go and make a little 3-action step and then kick them into something else. But all these things are really cool and really, really customizable as you go through it. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to change it. That's how I screw things up. But if you look, we have those individualized for each one of our people, whether it's a cold campaign, there's more of them. Right. So we have cold, we have that. Those are all the different steps you kind of saw. We even have account management to follow up with them after we do services with them, which is kind of cool. So, once they're doing work with us, and then everybody should have a nurture campaign of some sort. So a nurture campaign is just, a series of emails that just kind of keep them informed about what we're doing. We just got a lot of press recently. Those are all things that I would stick into a nurture campaign. And at some point, you never know where people are in the buying cycle, and they just, it might not be the right time. They might be busy. They might be doing budgets or something else. But all of a sudden, if you have them in a nurture campaign and you get that right message across at the right time, oh, that's right. Or maybe their car wash guy doesn't show up that day and they need the car wash guy. Well, that's the last straw, right? Where's that pronto wash? Right.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of value in like the old concept of, we communicate them till they buy or die. I even joke around about, you send, this is your final offer. Final offer just means it's further down in the sequence. So we covered a couple cool things. We looked at some automation. There's some really cool stuff. So, the email builder, you're able to build some really, really sweet looking emails. These are like, it could be newsletter style. Like here's just the welcome email that for people when they come into our portal. So, it's got a little bit more style than just a kind of a generic email. You don't want all your emails to look like this, like, they're all out of a box, but this one happens to be the one that welcomes people and gives them their password all automatically. But it's cool. It's got drag and drop functionality. I want to stick a button in here. I can stick a button. So, I literally just drop it in. Right now I go configure it. I give it the URL and boom, now I got a button in my email. So there's just a ton that you can do with this. See, it's going to want me to save it. I'm going to say no. These are some of the templates that we're using inside of the system. So, these are those individual ones that are out there. So like in that series, you saw a bunch of the cold ones. And there's just different messages for different people at different stages. Here's all the nurture ones. But all this stuff exists. Here's the whole thing on the trigger links thing that I was talking about. So this is where we build these links. So when people click anything in any of our emails and stuff, it alerts us and it kind of tracks them. But basically, like, here's the one for your offer for your portal. So I'm going to copy that and show off the portal real quick. Okay. So on the end user, right? So you have somebody, you just met the property manager, that end user, they get sent here when they click that link, and it's sales resource portal. It's for Austin, right? We're still selling them on this page. Like, we're always getting information in front of them, just beating our message into their heads. And then, he's able to go in, and so this person submits. And it's going to remember them. So the next time they come back here, they won't even have to do that. They can get right to the portal. And so we have this cool resource portal. So it's like, oh, I want to view it. And, now they're in, and, they get a quick message from me, right? It's got a little bit more information, tells me that, any point in the process, they want, to talk to me, to certainly go and figure, give me a shout. Go back. So these are all the different sections that we have when we're doing our sales, right? There's a whole presentation about me delivering the Pronto Wash brand, and I tell it from beginning to end. So back in the day, we used to have to like get them on the phone, go through a presentation. Now they can kind of self-serve that. So by the time they actually get to you, if they've done some of this, it takes a lot of the work out of your sales process. So you can ask them, oh, have you seen our presentation? Oh yeah, I saw it. Well, great. Well, like, if they saw the presentation, it's really about when do we start and what's your insurance information so I can get you added to my certificate of insurance. But, it's got some videos. Another funny one is people want you to come out and do a demo, right? Okay. And I don't like doing demos. And I even told a guy that has, 50 buildings. I go, come on, I'm not going to come and screw up the demo. I go, you're going to have a dirty car and then you're going to have a clean car. I go, if you want a free car wash, I go, the day we start, I'll give you a free car wash. So but this actually shows what the process looks like. They can see it. They can see the key exchange system. Has a whole section on like signage and branding, right? We want to kind of show off that we can kind of build them anything, and we do cool promotions. All of this is, stuff that, to get in front of them before it even gives them, they can actually download all of all these different things. So if they wanted to show people in their office, they can send people from their office to this thing. If they got to get to the decision maker, there's even a video. you know, that kind of flips through all the different things that we have going on and all the different pieces. And all of this is just, you know, it's all stuff that would, you know, is designed to really eliminate the time spent in the sales process so you can be continually closing business. This is a closer system. This is how you grow a business rapidly, massively. You know, those are the things that this is all about. So we give them everything we possibly can to make a decision before we even talk to them. Then they have the whole thing here. You know, we do a thing called a meet and greet, which is we show up before they actually have service usually, and we kind of introduce it. We actually send out, like, there's a whole enter to win thing. We send out, and we even give them the templated email to send out. So there's not like no guesswork in this. Not a lot of like, oh, I'll get you that, and then you have to go get it. It's designed to really take that out of your hands. And then it even goes so far as, you know, a lot of people ask us, it's like one of the things that has slowed down us getting businesses, like, you know, they have some type of environmental compliance officer. So all of a sudden you think you're about done with this person, and then you got like another 2 weeks, you know, because you got to get all this information together. Well, like in here, we have all of the material safety data sheet, or now they're just SDSs. And I just dated myself, Michael. They are no longer MSDS sheets. They're just SDS sheets. But here's all the information that they need on the, you know, on the products. It's got everything in it for them. So, you know, and that's, you should have that anyway. It's like an OSHA requirement in your business, but that's like, you know, and then lastly, we have two other big pieces. We have the insurance, you know, so we outline basically what we cover, but it also tells them a little story in here about, you know, we have the largest building outside of New York City on the East Coast. And, you know, they wanted 5 million. Guess what? They got 5 million of insurance. We just say, don't let that be a hindrance. But, you know, but they can see our insurance requirements. That's always a question that we get. And then once they actually get to a closing point, the last thing ultimately they'll end up with, there's a presentation of our, we have a dry cleaning brand. If you guys don't know that, there's drop off and pickup of dry cleaning, all about mobilization. So, and that's really a teaser. Put that in there in front of them also, because if you're selling to a property manager, they're the same person that would approve us putting lockers there. And then lastly is the proposal. So we actually give them a sample proposal so they know what they're going to get. And the proposal actually, it goes through basically everything here is somewhere as part of the proposal. It talks about the signage, it talks about the meet and greet. Our insurance stuff is in there. And then ultimately at the end of it, it's got like a letter of intent for them to sign, because we won't enact the insurance until they actually commit with some type of an agreement. So, you know, and all of this is just learned over, you know, the past 10 years of me doing this type of work and selling into different companies. But this, you know, it doesn't matter what type of company you have, you can apply this type of mentality. We use the same thing on our other companies, just in different ways. So that's everything available there. And then I wanted to get back. I wanted to show Michael, well, I had him, I wanted to show him how to actually import a list and what to do with that list when you do it. So okay, so in this case, I'm going to go, so for everybody else, right, there's all these different things. One of the places that I look a lot is in conversations. So like, you know, I want to see like, you know, what's going on, you know, right, you got a guy at the yeah, so Michael's, this is all you just following up, right? I look at I can see everything that's happened, you know, with all the different stuff, inbound, outbound. Like I said, you can even see inside the contacts, if, you know, there was a phone call made or anything like that, all that stuff shows up right inside the contact. I want to find one real quick. These are your newer ones. So this person received, you know, a series. I'm trying to find somebody with a call. Upload more. That might do it. So this person received the series. Okay, and you can see Michael tried to call him. But all really good stuff. All, you know, all the information is accessible, right? So now if I wanted to look at his contact, I can click on here and get to his contact. If I wanted to look at his opportunity, I can get to his opportunity. So there's just, it's just, the system is so designed. It even has like that calendar I was talking about, like scheduling, you know, it puts it right on your calendar. The, you know, it syncs up, you know, so your calendar is actually looped into it. We talk about opportunities. It can process invoices and take payment. That's one of my favorites. We talked about that. The site side of it, which is pretty cool. In this case, you know, we just really have a form in here, but this is where, you know, we have the ability and to build, you know, we can build websites in here. We can build funnels in here. We can build like a ton of stuff. You know, I want to do a survey. I want to build a form to put on the website to capture information. I want to make a custom form for just a specific building. All of that stuff exists in here, right? And then like you have here, you have these memberships as those portals that you always hear me talk about. But there's products, there's offers, there's even analytics that show like, you know, what's going on inside them. There's even a chat widget, which is another really cool thing. So if you guys, ManyChat, right? So this is that same type of thing. And it's built right out of here, and it'll actually plug into your website and actually talk to people. It's actually smart enough. What do we call it? Liza or something like that. And like we got Alexa, we got Siri, we have Eliza. So it's smart enough actually that if you create the questions right and somebody texts you and then you ask them their name and they send their name, it'll put that into the name field. If you ask them their email, it'll put it into their email field. So it actually knows how to like map different fields and stuff. So even if they just happen to be chatting and they start communicating, we can capture information without actually having somebody chatting with them, which is really, really cool. And then you're able to, you know, you're able to take this, you put this on your website and boom, you now have, you know, a chat bot on your thing. It's got all kinds of media stuff. So all your pictures, images, everything can be saved in here. So if you create an email, Michael, and you want to do that new email that about the press we just got, well, you end up, when you do it, you upload the media and you have access to it. It even does URL redirects. So if you aren't familiar with that, you guys ever see like bit.ly, right? Like somebody sends you a bit link or bit.ly. This is the same thing. So, you know, you have this big long link. We can actually turn it into, you know, a customized link right in here. And there's a million settings. Does reputation management, which is badass. You know, you can request, you can, you know, it does the whole star thing. It sends them, it connects to your Facebook and your Google. You can build a campaign that actually like ask them for, you know, their rating. And if they rate you less than 3 stars, it like stops them, right? And if they rate 4 and 5, it's like, hey, great, thank you. Here, go put it on Facebook and Google. But the other one will stop them. You know, then there's all kinds of reporting and stuff. And there's even a whole bunch of stuff in here for social media posting and doing different things. So that's kind of like the full boat. But for you right now, I want to go in here. I'm going to go contacts. And I'm going to import a list. And I'm going to upload a file, which I'm going to basically just drag over here. And okay, my list is there. I'm going to hit next. And now I'm going to map it. Okay, so, right, it's like business name, right? It doesn't know that. It actually knows it as company name. So I'm just going to make sure that's mapped right. Telephone is phone. Email host we don't care about. Website URL is website. So you just kind of tell it where you want all this, but like we're getting their Instagram, we're getting their Twitter, we're getting their LinkedIn, their Facebook. So, you know, if Michael really wants to get a hold of somebody, this is how you do it. But, you know, we have all this stuff that's coming in and it's already mapped because we already have all the fields built for you. And here, don't import data from the unmatched. So I don't want, like, I don't care about where they're hosting their stuff. So here's what's pretty cool. So, right, it's going to give an import name, right? So I'm going to be, I'm going to go commercial PM Austin. And I always date my list. So 0302 22. And I'm going to create a list from this, and you'll see why I do that in a second. Okay, now advanced. Now I can tell it to sort a certain way. So if you're bringing in a list and you already have people in there, it's like, oh, you don't want to like mash them all together. So you can actually have it like, it'll go through and look at their email addresses and, a secondary preference. You can do like their phone. So it'll actually merge your data. So in here, it's asking me add new and update existing, add new, right? Which is just like, it's going to put everybody in there. And then maybe I just want to update the existing contact records. So this one is the one you want. It's going to add the new and update at the same time. And then tags, right? So like, I'm going to give it the old Michael tag. Right. So in that, right, that tag didn't exist. I made it up and I was able to add it right to the system. And then I think he's actually set up as Kerr because that actually triggers some other stuff in our system.
Yes, it does.
So so he's in there. So now when that happens, it's going to assign it to him is what I think is going to happen. Okay, add to a workflow or campaign. So I could, right from here, I can say, oh, like I want them to go into Michael's cold campaign. Okay, so I have the cold campaign for Kerr. And I'm going to validate the emails. Always validate the emails. It costs a little bit of money, but there's no harm in validating them. But if you don't validate them, you can really piss off the email gods. So, okay. Now, the only thing I don't like, because there is a setting that goes with this that it's probably going to ask me here in a second, but normally I wouldn't dump them in unless I know the answer to this question, but we're going to find out. So the question that it should have asked is, do I want to drip them into the campaign or do I want to send them all simultaneously? And you're able to actually so if you load a large list like that, you can actually send them out at 10 every 2 minutes or 50 every 5 minutes. So it just, it gives
a million phone calls at once.
Yeah, because the thing that'll happen is you'll get pounded with the, when they come through on the other side.
Mm-hmm. As they work through that workflow, they're all going to land there at one time. Yeah.
Correct. Okay, so that's the details on it. And then we can go. So it's already loaded all those folks in, right? So 91 of them it created. You had 16 folks that were already in there, Michael. So you're already on it. And you had one error.
Unfortunately, you can't click on it.
Yeah, you can't click on the error. Usually we're pretty good with everything else that you can click on, but I can download the error log.
Mm-hmm.
Lord knows where I'm going to put the error log, but I'm just going to stick it there for now. Okay, let's go see what the error was. And so it just was pulling in, it pulled in information off of the sheet. So now I go over to contacts. And we have, now Michael's got 200 records that we pulled in. And then here's the reason that I named it and I said to make it its own list. So from that, you have 172 contacts to start working. And if I go in, I look at it. Right, everything's there. There's the tags I set up as they came in. And they're actually in this workflow now. So they're going to start sending. I imagine when you do it in a bulk like that, that it's going to actually drip automatically because that person hasn't gotten it yet. But we can also now, we can go to that workflow, right? Our little blocks here. We can jump in there. Right, they're working through the assigned to a user, then they're going to hit here and they're going to keep working through all the way down. So you are all set, Michael. You're going to have lots and lots and lots coming through. And you're going to have plenty of activity to follow up on, and you're going to end up with a ton of people in your opportunity pipeline. So what happens in that case, and as people start doing things and clicking through, they're going to move themselves down the field. So, I always start and make sure that I'm working from kind of my hotter opportunities. I make sure everybody's happy and I work my way backwards. Whenever I have time, I'll go through and I'll just keep doing, clicking in and looking at things and checking people out and, just trying to find out more information. And then there's just a point in time that you just, you pick up the phone and you call.
Understood. Excellent.
Okay. So
Sounds great. I appreciate
yeah.
your time. This is good stuff. Not only the list, but a better understanding of what's going on the back end. So I certainly appreciate the transparency there.
Yeah, well, again, I think if you know it and you'll start to think about things, like when you start to understand like some of the things that we can trigger and track and automate, if they do this, they get that, it's like one of them is, the account management. So, if we know that we launched your building yesterday and we kick them into the account management campaign, it sends them, an email, hey, how'd it go on day one? And then in a week on day 7, it's going to send them another one. And then on day 30, hey, we just got through our first 30 days. So little things like that are just happening. It makes you look like, oh my God, how does this guy cover all this ground? How does he possibly? And then, also like, how is it possible that, like you don't have activity percolating that you don't even know about? It's so fantastic when it starts to come back to you by just utilizing some of these very simple tools and just having some understanding. So I encourage everybody, if you don't have it, I would get with us on the marketing automation side. There's nobody on the planet has a better system than we built. So, and we can teach you how to use it because we're pretty ninja.
Especially if you just send an email to Kim@mysuccesssystems.com. She is much quicker to respond than anybody else and is more than willing to help.
So Kim@mysuccesssystems.com, and you can have all of this. So anyway, that was our speedy overview of how to work a sales system, how to automate your marketing process, and just really an overview to understand that there's a lot there. And for those that work with us and work in the system, if you can think about it or you want it to do something, you wish it did something, you just got to mention it and we will help you figure out how to do it. So
Excellent.
That's it for me, boys. Jimmy, what'd you think? Do we still have
It
Jimmy?
was awesome. I actually like to say it was badass.
It was badass. We're all on it. And the old screen share, we have the Jimmy, Johnny, and Michael show today. So yeah, good stuff. I mean, great work too on your side, Jimmy, the guy that hashes together all the IT stuff around here. So, always a pleasure. And we have lots of cool stuff that integrates with this. So there's even more we can do outside of the system. So Michael, hopefully that gives you kind of like a breath of the power that's available to you, but also some different places to go when you're kind of like, okay, what am I going to do today? Go there, go look at that actual workflow and see where people are in those. And then we'll work on getting some more reporting for you. There's lots of cool reporting and things that the system can do and spit out automatically. I'll go back to this real quick. But there's lots of reporting that can be done, and it even tracks everything off the websites and where traffic comes from. You have Facebook ads, things like that. But even like just call reporting, You know, you can see, calls, coming in, going out. If you want to go listen to the call, you can just go and you can listen to it. So you can see, here's different things that have happened. And then you even have agent reporting. So you can actually look by salesperson on activity. So, if you're keeping a scorecard and things like that, then obviously, you want to be able to keep track of things, but this actually shows us all the different stuff that's happening with the system.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that.
Yep. And it'll even give you all your appointment reports and everything as you're booking appointments and slaying deals. So the last little thing I thought about as we were there, but hopefully that helps. And if you have questions, let us know.
Sounds great. I appreciate your time.
Amazing.
Thank you. Good to see you,
Thank
Jimmy.
you guys. Ciao.